Welcome to our show. It's Anna and I, and we're doing something a little different today, aren't we, Anna?
A little different.
Just a little different. We have pre-recorded our session with our guest today, Deanna Seymour, and we are going to premiere it live here with you. So we are going to be in the background, and if you are watching live and you have some comments, we're definitely going to interact with you. So we're going to premiere the show, and then we're going to show up at the end and say goodbye. So
yeah,
any last words before we premiere ourselves?
Really. We had a fabulous time with Deanna. She was really sorry she couldn't be here with us at the scheduled time today, but you're going to love her. She is all about confidence and empowerment, and she's fun to talk to. So enjoy the show.
Yes. Okay, let's do it. I'm going to bring this bad boy up. We're going.
Welcome to season 4 of the 15-ish minute coffee chat. We've got an amazing lineup of guests this year, and we'll be having weekly live stream conversations that every business owner needs to hear.
This week, we've got guest Deanna Seymour, business mentor, podcaster, and all-around creative gal. Get a boost of fun and confidence as we talk about building your business in a way that aligns with your personality. Hey, but before we introduce Deanna and bring her on in, tell us in the comments, are you camera shy?
Yeah, I think that's a great question to ask.
Right?
First of all, we want to thank our future selves for introducing our past selves today because we're doing it a little different. So we're going to see how this goes. But we are so excited to have Deanna on today. And I love her energy, and I'm just excited she said yes, and I'm excited that we could make this work. And so, without further ado, we're going to have Anna. I'm going to bring up her bio before we bring her in, and let's have Anna talk about her a little bit.
Yeah, I would love to tell you all about Deanna. So, okay, so listen, Deanna is, wait, why did I lose the bio? I don't know what's going on here. Selena.
I got us. Deanna is on a mission
for a minute. Oh,
okay. She is on a mission to help creative folks get their businesses off the ground without breaking the bank or drowning in their to-do list, because everyone deserves to follow their dreams.
Yes.
Right? I mean,
absolutely.
I love that.
Thank you for having my back on that one, because for whatever reason, my screen started doing that like glitch thing. And I'm like, the bio, it was like that. However, I will tell you this. I spent many an hour yesterday going through Deanna's website, and I am so excited to bring her on today and have a conversation with her about confidence and putting that confidence into your business plan and into your brand and really making yourself part of what it is that you're offering, whether it be a service or a product. So should we just bring her on? Let's get her on.
Yeah, let's do it. Let's bring her in. You got her? I got her. You got her?
I got her.
Welcome to the party, Deanna.
Hello. Thank you so much for having me. This is so fun already. I love your intro. I was like, it's like taking notes. I'm like, I'm going to do something like this and steal all their cool ideas. Like, so cool.
No, I'm glad we didn't have something. And one of our original guests from season 1 was like, you need a hype song. And me and Anna were like, oh, okay.
Yeah.
We got to work on that.
I mean, even babies are tuning in. Like, I was like, oh my God, so good. Love it.
We are big. Our largest ideal client grouping is like ages 2 to 7. So
nailed it. Speaking to your ICA there.
That's right.
Oh my gosh. Okay, before we get started, we'd love to do our coffee cup selfie. If you have a cup, raise it up while we do it. Or whatever.
Yes. Hello, party alien Alf in the house.
Oh my gosh. Yes. Okay,
also,
guys,
y'all said.
I was like,
wait, like this?
Oh, I don't know. I was like, well, I was talking, but then I was like, I think you're taking the thing, so I have to be quiet. No, for a second. Okay. Did you take it? Did we take it? Oh my God.
No. I just screenshot it. So we have a great lot.
Do I look okay?
That I'll be able to pause.
You're gorgeous.
Okay, let's do it. Okay. Wait, let's do an official one. Wait, come on. Okay, ready?
All right.
On 3. 1, 2, 3. Okay.
Nailed it. Okay.
Okay, sorry, Deanna. Totally cut you off.
No, I was like talking during pictures. I do that all the time, and then I'm upset when all my pictures look crazy. So, what was I saying? Oh, I was saying you said I could drink whatever I wanted in my mug. So
yes, what's in it?
I mean, it's 4 o'clock where I live, which is almost 5 o'clock. So
yeah,
I got a little wine in my mug. Sorry,
I love it.
That's perfect.
Sorry, not sorry. I mean, you know.
I still have coffee from this morning. I'm not really a coffee drinker. So
that happens to me a lot.
I'm like a sipper.
I always joke that I go straight from coffee to wine. So I got to like remind myself to drink water sometimes.
Yep.
I think that's a great indicator to let your body know that it is time to shift into the next part of your day. So take that, everybody. Make sure you fill your cup with something different, right?
That's right. Fill your cup with something different. Speaking of something different, so one of the first things that we like to do is a mental health question. And we've added this into our program.
Okay.
Nothing like we're going to dig into your deepest, darkest secrets or the skeletons in your closet, but we've added it into our program because we feel like starting on that like personal level really brings out interesting information about our guests. So we have a question for you that we picked today. Selena, do you want to share it?
Yes. All right. Okay. So this is from our mental health barista, also a former guest. Her mental health question is, what are your most trusted sources of feedback that kind of help your insights? What do you have to say about that?
Okay. My most trusted, I mean, my counselor. My husband and I see a counselor. We see the best lady ever who will see us individually or together, which I think is perfect because if you have to go talk smack about the other person, like you're not quite ready to like say it to their face, you can go talk to Molly and see what she thinks. But also she can talk to us both together so we can get on the same page because marriage is really hard. I feel like now I'm veering off on this topic, but marriage is really hard. And I feel like people, it's like a weird thing where everyone says it's super hard, but also nobody's like getting help doing the super hard thing. And I'm like, what? So when people hear that, like some coworkers before have been like, oh, are you guys okay? Are you going to be okay? And I'm like, I think we're going to be okay because someone's like helping us do this really hard thing. So, and I think getting married later in life makes it a little harder because you're already used to like doing everything your way all the time. And then you're like, what is this compromising about every single thing? So I would say one of my most trusted sources of feedback on super important things is Molly, my counselor.
I love that. Okay, so let me ask you this. If Molly says something you don't like
if she chooses math side?
No,
it doesn't happen often, but it has happened. And it's not my favorite thing to hear. Like I take it. I mean, I'm not going to say like I do everything Molly says, but we fired the lady before Molly because I was like, you're not on my side enough. Yeah, you're done. I was like, she probably has a son with a beard, and you remind her. I'm like, out of here. So I think that is a great question. I think going to art school helped me take constructive criticism really well because it's like all you do, you turn in your art and then in front of everyone the teacher like tells you what's up and then your classmates try in too. So I'm pretty good at taking that. Like honestly, it kind of annoys me if someone's like, well, looks great, because I'm like, come on, there has to be something that could be better. So I think this is me in a job interview. What was the question? So I think I take the advice. I try to take it as best I can, but it's hard sometimes.
But I like great. I like your tie into constructive criticism. Like that's something that I think is really hard first to give, right? Because you don't want to offend people, and if you're not really close friends, especially, well, then the standard answer is, "Oh, that looks great," or "Oh, you're doing a great job," or "Yeah, it's all great, no big deal." But the reality is it's not great, right? If it's your first try, or even if it's your 15th try, if you're not feeling it or whatever, the reason you asked for that is for honest feedback, and that's sometimes hard to get.
Yeah. Well, I have a method. Do you want to hear my method?
Yes.
We do.
Okay. So I was the editor-in-chief of my yearbook in high school. Fancy pants. Queen of the doors.
I love it. I wasn't as high as you. I was your peon. I did an article, not the whole book.
Okay.
So,
Okay.
anyway.
Well, I worked my way up as from a freshman up to my senior year. But my yearbook advisor taught me this method, and I think some people call it like a sandwich, but this method is a little different because it's called the pet poke method. So you have to be like, I really like how long your article is. Like, I really like that this is a great headline, but poke, that's the thing you got to fix. So they're like, woo, 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 I'm awesome. And then they're like, okay, I can handle that.
Yeah.
So pet poke.
I love that.
Yep.
I love that.
It works.
I'm going to practice that on my husband. I really appreciate that you are wearing your socks. I really appreciate that you're also wearing underwear, but the ones that are left on the ground could go in the laundry basket.
But I feel like, yeah, because you build them up so high that when you take them down a peg, they're okay because they're still like one peg up.
Yeah, right.
Very tricky. Yeah. I think
I love that method. That is a great tool to add to the toolbox for how you can offer constructive criticism, because if you can't find anything good about it, you might be the wrong person for them to be asking in the first place.
Yeah, that's true. That's true.
Yeah.
I heard a coach say today on a Facebook Live that if your coach isn't like annoying you or making you mad or something, it was like definitely a bad feeling, then they're not doing their job. And I was like, oh, is that real? Because I'm not mean. Like, I don't. And I was like, she needs the pet poke, because then you can still poke them, but they won't like know it. So
yeah,
right.
I don't know if I agree with that, but anyways.
Yeah, no, I guess there's just different methods that people use. I don't resonate with, like, I don't want to be angry at you. You can invoke emotion in me, but that's not how I can. That's not part of my love language vibe or whatever it is.
No.
You know,
yeah, she'd get fired like my first counselor.
Your first session.
To poke and be inspiring, though, and I think that's what the example you gave of your art teacher, right? Like, that's a way of where you're still saying, hey, these are great. These are two great things about it, and here's maybe something you could think about working on. And so I'm a writer, right? So similar to an artist, there's lots of constructive criticism that comes back about the words you put on paper, and they love your story or they hate your story. And I had a professor in college that hated everything I wrote. And it was frustrating because it was a creative writing course. And I'm like, I don't care if you like it or not. The whole point of creative writing is I can write what I want.
Yeah.
Right? Like, it doesn't have to be your liking. It's not an analytical paper. It's not, it's not a report of some kind. Yeah. And he was really bad at doing the petting, but very good at doing the poking.
He did the poke method, and you were like, I hate you. Stop talking to me.
Yes, it was bad. But going back to this original mental health question, though, I didn't trust him as a professor first of all, that he was good at his job, because I'm like, there has to be something good about my writing. I didn't make it all the way to my 4th year of college, getting an English major without some sort of talent or skill in this area.
Yeah.
Really? Please tell me.
Anything? I think some professors are just a little too big for their britches. But I'm just an elementary teacher, so what do I know? I had some like that, and you're like, all right, what game do I have to play to just get out of your freaking class?
Yeah.
Oh my gosh. No.
Yeah.
Well, thank you for your feedback, Deanna, on this wonderful question.
And our time's up. I talk too much, and our time is up. Goodbye.
No. I love it. No, and again, the reason why we're bringing it up is we always love to tie the mental health and how that affects your business and what you do in your job and your work, right? And so if you're working on something personally, it does trickle down into your business life, and you're either more productive or it fires you up and you get like a whole website done in a night because, like, I'm not, so when you're mad, you clean. Sometimes I'm mad, I'll build something for somebody and they're like, oh, when did you do this? So I think
Canva better watch out if I get too mad. Canva going up in there.
Yeah. Well, I also think like tying it back into business is just learning how to take constructive criticism and give constructive criticism is really important, especially if you're working with a partner or in a team situation or in a group type experience, you know, because if everybody's just like, oh, that looks good, you're not going to put out your best product.
No, definitely not.
Yeah.
Kudos to you. Anna tells me all the time. No, I'm just kidding. Actually, we have a really great
relationship. You're really beautiful and you have really pretty hair, but
I'm gonna be like, pat. Okay, ready for the poke, Anna? Ready for it?
She's like, like,
yeah. And then I'm like, Deanna's gonna be in every constructive criticism, like in my head, like every time I have it. I'm like, did I pet enough? Okay, ready. Yeah. So yeah, totally. Okay. Well, let's move on to our toolkit portion of the show. Our new favorite thing is that we love to ask our guests what they're using. And Deanna, when she responded to us what she uses, a couple of things, I forgot that I wanted to get into this thing and now I'm in it. So we're going to bring this up. But yes. And I do love it so much. I mean, we're going to actually have Deanna kind of give us a little bit of why she loves it. But the base synopsis of it is it's a digital planner calendar thing, just as it says on here. But Deanna, why do you use it? Why do you love it?
Okay. So I am not techie at all. So it's like a stretch for me, but I'm pretty okay with the Google stuff. But I don't use things that are not pretty. Like I just can't stick with my Google Calendar because it's like not cute. I mean, I know you can change some colors, but it's still a Google Calendar. So this magically talks to my Google Calendar and looks cute, you know, and there's stickers you can like drag on there, which I don't utilize enough, which I guess means I'm being productive in other areas. But I do want to use more stickers because they are cute. But I like the idea of a paper planner, but I also, like my husband has the Google Calendar on his phone because he doesn't care if it's ugly. And so he needs to know when I have important things like today. So I can tell him to make sure they come in from outside in the front door, not the back door, so we don't get them interrupting us. So we have to communicate somehow, but I just want my side to look cute. So it's perfect because it's cute, but it also tells him what's up.
So you're saying, so it interacts with like a Google Calendar or another type of calendar planner.
Yep.
It allows you to, so I love paper planners. I have 3 of them, but for the sake of business purposes, I also have to keep a Google Calendar.
Yes.
So my paper planner is almost more, it's ending up being almost more like my creative side. So I can sit and put the pretty colors in and add my sticker to it. But then when I actually need to know what's going on, I go to my Google Calendar. So this is awesome because it sounds like it's combining all of that fun of paper planning into a digital option.
Yeah. And like my Calendly link that my clients use to book me or podcast guest book there connects, like it's sort of a chain, but like Calendly is connected to my Google Calendar, which is connected to this. So it ends up on this. So all the things come here and you can really easily, like okay, this is getting a little deep, but all my like social media stuff that is like, I scheduled those from like 1 to 1:30, 2 to 2:30, 3 to 3:30. So those look like my 1, 2, and 3 for the day. And then when I do them, I change the color really fast from pink to green because green's like go, like you're done. And I can do my like checklist too if I look at the daily view because that's like a daily view, weekly view, monthly view.
That's awesome.
I love it. And I'm not that good at doing it usually, but this is actually a tool that has like stuck for a while. We're going on like 2 months, which is like pretty big for me in organization.
Oh, that is a big thing.
Yeah.
You know what? I mean, you said something. I think I first went and tried this. I don't know who had recommended a year ago, right? And I guess I wasn't busy enough that I felt this was just like adding on to something versus helping me.
Yeah.
You know, because I do have a planner here, but I sit there writing stuff and going, I wish I could just digitally move this because I also love that aspect and the fact that you can actually put it on your iPad. And so, you know what I mean? Yeah. Or your
and
tablet.
the thing
you know.
I'm sorry, I totally just interrupted.
No.
I'm excited.
You're excited too.
And like
Tell me more.
If you don't check it off, you can set it up that your checklist, like if you don't check it off, when you turn the page, like when you turn the digital page, it's there again. So you don't like forget to do the things you didn't finish yesterday, which I really like because I don't always get to the things. So.
Well, and so can I just add in here too, that when I looked into this, because I had never heard of this until you put it down as your toolkit. That's one of the reasons why I love these toolkits now coming from our guests, because it throws me into things I don't even know about. So the annual cost of this is $35, people. Like cheap, cheap to have that pretty factor added to your daily life. And so huge fan of that. $35 is super affordable. And and even if you only use it for 2 months.
Which I'm going to keep using it because it's really awesome. But and like you can change some of the things, the list. I'm just sort of annoyed that I couldn't change the water thing. You can track your water, which I told you I go straight from coffee to wine, so I don't need to track my water. I probably need to track my water so I can start using that. But
make it a wine tracker or a coffee tracker.
And I will say, my husband makes dinner here, so that like you can't change the meal planning, which I think would be helpful for people who have to plan meals. But I'm a lucky one that I don't have to do that. So I actually brainstorm my Instagram stories where it says meals, and I just know that it says meals, but I just put my stories over there.
So question, Deanna, since I don't currently use Artful Agenda, does your calendar then translate over? Like, can you share your Artful Agenda calendar like with your husband's Google Calendar? Can you share it?
The things like the things I put on here. I don't know. What if he doesn't know all the things? I'm like 99. I mean, nothing has happened yet that has shown me that he doesn't see it. No, because it talks to my Google. So if I go check my Google Calendar, it looks the same.
Got it.
And then which means he's attached to my Google. So it's a little bit of a chain reaction. But yeah, if I put because I don't actually put anything on. I never really open my Google Calendar. It's just linked to that, so it can be linked to him.
Yeah.
And so that Calendly can be linked to that. And you can put more. Like I take breathwork classes, and my breathwork teacher has a Google Calendar of when she's teaching, so that goes on my Artful Agenda too. Like you can link more than one Google Calendar. Well, I guess it's one Google Calendar, but there's more than one thing. Now I'm getting into the Google, but it's all on there. It's basically magic. It's just magic, and it all.
I didn't mean to confuse us with that Google Calendar, so let's just leave it as it's just magic. It's magical. It's magical and pretty. That's all you need to know about now.
I will tell you what's on mine, and what I was excited about it. It's funny. I was like, I'm supposed to just prep for this, but then I literally got down the rabbit hole of I signed up, I integrated, I did all the things, and then I was like, and then I'm customizing, and I was like, and I have my, my daughter's school calendar can integrate into your calendar, right? So I'm like, that's in there, so it's showing up. And I was like, oh, this is nice, because sometimes I don't always see my daughter's stuff on my Google Calendar just because it's just, I don't know. But for some reason, it's prettier in the daily view. Anyway, if you guys need to look at it, I do advise you to go check it out.
Yeah.
I love it.
Thank you so much
for that, Anna.
I know. Yeah. You guys, you mean Anna? Is this the pet code?
Yeah.
I love
get the calendar.
Get the calendar, but it's really ugly.
You're so pretty, Anna. Oh my gosh, those glasses are fantastic. Get it.
There you go.
Oh my gosh. Okay, so we are ready for our espresso shot question for Deanna.
Yeah.
I feel like I'm on a game show. I love this. Like, right?
Okay, good.
Here we go.
I know.
I should throw something at you, the calendar, like, are you ready? Okay, so our espresso shot is really kind of like the big main question that we have for you that really ties into all your experience and expertise, and not the only reason we want you on this show, but definitely what we feel like is like your depth and breadth that you can provide to our listening and viewing audience. So our espresso shot question for you today is, when you aren't feeling confident, what are your top 3 ways to put yourself out there on social media, even if you're camera shy, which is kind of your specialty? So I'm really excited to kind of hear what you have to say today about this.
Okay, let's see. I'm like trying to pick. I'm like, okay, top 3. All right. So I have done not to brag, not to pet myself, but I have done a lot of work around my mindset and body image and all that jazz. So if you haven't started doing that work, I just highly suggest trying to not have as many bad days. Like, I just feel like I used to, I mean, it was all consuming, you know, all the time. Like if I was doing this before, I would be looking at myself being like, how do I look? What is that? Looks weird. What's happening? Like it was all kind of always running in the back of my head. So we have to get rid of that, what I call your gremlin. You got to shut that voice down so that you can like enjoy your life and live your life. But also in terms of business, like people buy from people, right? I mean, I'm not trying to go straight for the sale, but we don't have a lot of time. So we obviously want to make money. We're having businesses. People buy from people. So we have to connect with the people. So we can't hide behind stock pictures and cute Canva graphics. Like we can include those because, you know, they're awesome and we need them sometimes, but we also have to show up. So I just meet so many women that are like, I just hate having my picture taken. So they're just hiding and their audience isn't connecting with them. So I like to tell people to just, it's like exposure therapy, like just pieces of you. It's like, isn't that like an Ashley Simpson song? I'm dating myself. Pieces of you. But anyway, I knew that. So like, for instance, like take a picture of your shoes. If you're like, want to talk about your story or where you are or you in this moment or whatever. And the caption can be much more personal. So they're already connecting with the caption. And it's not a stock photo. Like I know you can just go on Canva or Unsplash or wherever and type in cute shoes and get cute shoes. But like show them your shoes because everybody can, I mean, maybe not all the time, but you can kind of tell when it's like a stock picture, it's the person's picture. So, but it's also like you starting to like peel that Band-Aid off. So we like take a picture of our shoes. Maybe you're going to like show a book you're reading, but you're going to like peek out from behind it. So you're like there, but maybe you are like worried about a double chin or something. So you're like hiding a little bit, but you're still there and it's you and you can talk about this book and all the things you learned in this book. So they're connecting a little bit in the picture, but maybe a lot in the caption. And then like other ideas, like you can crop things creatively. Like there's pictures that are cropped like, you know, from here, like you think you have a big nose or what, like maybe that's not the best crop, but you know what I mean? Like it could be, or like I always say to the, like strategically placed crop, so, or prop, not crop, prop. So you're like, hey, and you're sort of like hiding or you're drinking or you're, you know, whatever, like you're, yeah, that's cute. I mean, that's cute. And you're, yeah, you're just like, but just ways that you can show up or even like, I mean, obviously if you, like, I'm just thinking, I mean, people like in that scene in Mean Girls, people hate on themselves all the time. Like somebody's going to be like, well, I don't want my hands in it. So whatever you feel like you don't want in the picture in the beginning, I'm going to let you have a pass and you don't have to show it. But I also want you working on the mindset so that like eventually you can fully be in your photos because when it comes down to it, like you deserve to be, but I don't want to like push anybody into it. So feel like you got to meet people where they are, you know? And so even though I want to be like, whatever, diet culture, like dismantle this, like the patriarchy, we're just going to show up. We're going to love our fat rolls. Like we don't care. Yes, great. But not everybody's ready for that yet, you know? So what can they do to start showing up so that they can build up that confidence? And so that's
I'm sorry, I'm interrupting you, but I love your idea of using props. And that is something that I don't consciously think of, but I think I unconsciously do at times because I know there's like, oh, like I got to stand this way and maybe you could stand right next to me, like right here. You know, or the coffee cup, right? So the coffee cup and the head tilt, or you know, something where I'm like, okay, I feel like maybe my blemishes are not as pronounced in these images.
Yeah, until you do the work and you're like, oh, I can have a chin that looks like whatever the F I want it to look like, and then you're ready to bear it all. I feel like I have like a little opt-in for this, and I mean, this is work I've been doing. My daughter's 4. I really started being like, all right, Deanna, get your life together when I was pregnant with her. And I was pregnant with her and I was on Weight Watchers because I was worried about gaining too much weight with her. And I was like, just had a moment where I was like, this is what my mom did. She dieted my whole life. And that's why I've dieted like since 3rd grade. Now I'm literally carrying a human and worried about like what that's doing to my body already. she's going to come out and I'm going to do the exact same thing to her if I don't stop doing this. So it's new. It's like a new venture for me. Like, I'm not all the way there. I'm not ready to like, you know, show off my roles or be like super proud of anything necessarily. I've come a long way. So when I made my like opt-in, my little freebie, I put a picture of myself on the back, and it was funny because I found one with a scarf, you know, and I'm like, and I put on there, I'm like, look at me using the old, you know, prop trick. Like, here's my scarf, because I didn't want to show my chin, you know, but I was still showing up. And I think the more you do it, the less you have to hide. So that's my thing.
That's awesome.
You know, and okay, so this is how I actually came to find Deanna on the internet in a group. She had put out like, hey, you know, does anybody want to have like my, like, you know, tips and tricks on like feeling confident and like of her portrait ideas. And she was like, I just put this together. I just want to see if there's of any interest. And I grabbed it and I was like, whoa, I loved it. And then I was like, oh my gosh, I love her website. I love all the things. And I just love the message about how you're saying, just being, you know, be body positive and like, don't hate on yourself so much. And I don't know, anyway, so I just kind of obsessively started, like, whenever I would see her post something, I'm like, oh, she's back. That positive lady is back. Like, that makes it sound like we're old, but you're not old. But just, I was just like, oh, you know? And so I got excited. So,
well, I think it's tricky. Yeah. I think it's tricky because like body positivity is great, is totally great. And I think, like I was saying, some people are like proud of their stretch marks and their whatever, like, these are my tiger stripes and I had a baby. And I feel like the first step is just like body neutral. Like, cause I was like at first I was pushing back, like, well, I went to art school and I'm an expert in aesthetics, and these stretch marks are not cute. Like, I know that, and I can't lie to myself. Like, I'm too authentic and I have too much integrity to lie to myself. Like, I was like, it was hard to switch that. And so I think part of it is just not even categorizing. Like, we don't have to say that the stretch marks are good or bad. It's just like, I had a baby and I have some stretch marks, period. Like, next topic, you know? And I think it's in general, we try to categorize, like, oh, I got a follower. Awesome. I'm doing great. Or I lost a follower. Oh, my messaging sucks. It's just like a thing. Like, you just got a follower. Next topic. Like, try to keep things like neutral without putting too much weight onto weight. No pun intended.
Oh, you're funny. That's good.
But I think it's hard too, because when it's like body positivity, that feels like a lot of pressure to like really embrace it and love who you are, and like, you know, take a picture and post it on Instagram with your rolls and really celebrate it. And that's like hard. That's like the complete opposite of what we're told from day one. That's like really freaking hard. But maybe you could just be like, I'm not even going to participate in the conversation where this is good and this is bad. Like, she's a lady and she's a lady, and they happen to be totally different sizes, and they're both just ladies, you know?
And it works. I think it takes a lot of practice to not tie those things together. So, oh, I lost a follower, it's because of that picture I posted. They must not like me. Or I lost a follower, I said something wrong. Or especially on social media, because social media is that instant gratification, endorphin boosting. Yay, somebody read my post and they thought it was funny enough to comment. They liked it. And it's such a huge part right now of, I'm gonna go out on a limb and say 99% of every business has some sort of social media happening. For entrepreneurs, it is largely, especially small entrepreneurial businesses, we are the face of what we're doing. There's nobody else for me to throw into that. It's Anna. You know?
Well, it's a personal brand. It's hard not to take it personal when someone follows, or not to be like, nailed it, when someone, you know, or I said unfollows, but you know what I mean? Like, it's hard not to take it personally, because it's literally your personal brand. It's you, and you're putting yourself out there, and it's scary.
Yeah. I'm curious. This has largely been a topic that's centered around females or women for the most part, right? The whole body conscious, body confidence kind of conversation. But are you seeing it, because this is something that you specialize in, are you seeing more men becoming involved in this?
I'm like, who cares? Next, who cares about boys, the patriarchy, whatever. They have everything. We don't even need to talk about them. They're so passe. Just kidding. You know, I have a son now, so he's 1.5. So it's something I've started to pay attention to a little bit because whatever. I mean, it's so funny because I'm like, it's going to sound like a huge man hater. Sorry, Matt, my husband. But I'm like, they have enough things. They're fine. I do definitely market mostly towards women. I guess, I mean, to be honest, my Facebook group, I would say you can't, like, no boys allowed. Sorry. But I do think it's something that he, meaning Jack, my son, it's like, you're not in my brain with me every second of the day, could struggle with. So it now that I have a son, because I've always just thought of it like, I'm a girl, I have a sister, it's my mom who struggled with diets, that to me, it's just a very women-centric thing, which I know it's not, but in my world it is. And sometimes that's a problem.
I asked the question because I had a conversation with my husband the other day where we were talking about this whole dad bod trend that started the last years, and how that's very similar to kind of the whole like women who have had children or women who are getting older and kind of the things starting to fall apart conversation, you know. And he's like, yeah, I wouldn't pose with my shirt off and my muscles, you know. He's like, I've got a dad bod, I'm 50.
Yeah, you know? That's true. That is interesting. Shoot, I had a thought and I totally lost it. So we'll just keep talking and pretend like that didn't happen.
I love that you brought up dad bods, but I'm kind of with Deanna a little bit.
Oh, I remembered it. When you're finished, I remembered it. So just
okay. No, you know what? You go, because if you're like me, you'll forget after I talk, and then we're gonna go back into that cycle.
Well,
go.
I was gonna say, okay, so everybody's talking about this whole like, I know I'm using quarantine wrong, but you know, lockdown or whatever, like staying home. Right. People are gaining weight and whatever. And so that is like, to me, totally toxic. I'm like, it's a pandemic. We can like not worry about our weight for 5 freaking seconds. Right. So I haven't really been like participating in any of that. But my husband recently went to the doctors and like, I guess his blood pressure was a little high, and we're, you know, getting older, whatever. He's about to turn 41. So I guess like his doctor was like, oh, let's just wait a second. Like maybe, you know, maybe the machine's being weird. And then they did it again and they were like, no, it's kind of high. And his dad had high blood pressure, whatever. So he's like trying to watch what he eats and stuff. And it was kind of like funny, not funny, but he was like, oh my God, I feel like you. Because we've dated and he's been with me since before me, like anti-diet, like not doing it. Like he's lived through all the, like, I'm going to cut out carbs. I'm going to only eat real food. Like I'm gonna like, I feel like at one point I was like eating pork rinds instead of chips because something like, I'm sure it was like keto-ish or something. I was like, pork rinds, they're delicious and crunchy. I'm not saying, I mean, some people like pork rinds, that's fine. But when you want a potato chip, it's not really the same thing. And my vegan friends are probably like, she is disgusting on this diet where she only eats like animal flesh, whatever. She's disgusting.
I did try the pork. I tried the pork rind thing, Deanna, and it did not work for me.
I hate when people say eat a pretzel. I'm like, that's not a chip. A pretzel, like eat this, not that, read those, you know, like I've done every crazy diet. So the point was, I thought it was like a little like ironic, sad. It was like a little slew of emotions that came in when he was like, I feel like you, because I'm trying to like he was like telling me what he ate for breakfast, telling me what he ate for lunch. And part of me was like, I don't do diet culture anymore. So like, get with it. Like we're doing intuitive eating in this house. So stop talking about all the diets. But it was interesting. And obviously it's like the dad bod, like it's affecting him. And I think part of it was the blood pressure, but also he did say like his shirts are getting tighter. His pants are like, he's feeling the like quarantine, stay at home 15, whatever people are calling it. So it's a thing. You're right. And the dad bod, I didn't think about it because I'm like, yeah, serves you right. Somebody should make fun of you because we've been making fun of us for years. It's your turn. So I haven't really been paying attention, to be honest, because I try not to. But
I'm kind of with Deanna.
I mean, in the business sense, it's definitely something to think about because you're going to have maybe not as many, but a lot of men uncomfortable with putting their face out as the face of their business. They think it should be more masculine or with bigger muscles or a more chiseled chin or, you know, whatever the traditional beauty marks of a man might be.
But think about all the ugly actors. Like, I'm sorry, I don't mean to be ugly, but like, we say ugly in my house, like mean, like I'm being, it's like Southern,
right?
Ugly. I'm being ugly, but like all the people who get to be actors who are straight up like ugly dudes, and I'm like, whatever. Like all the women feel like they have to get all this plastic surgery, but yet like Steve Buscemi could be famous. Like who is the female equivalent of it? Like even female comedians who are like ugly and fat are beautiful. Like I'm like, okay, I guess like compared to a size 0, you're like a size 2, chubby. Like I don't know. I feel like it's just a double standard. So I think men feel it a little, but they don't get it as much as us for sure.
Interesting.
That's what I think. Yeah. But I'm just being a little cranky pants.
No, you know what? I will say this, Anna, I really do kind of like, not that there was a side of choosing here. It was like, I do feel like, we have to try harder sometimes. So I see, but you just gave me a little perspective, Anna. It's like, obviously men do sit there and probably go, is my chin looking this way or that way or whatever? But I just, yeah, I'm going to say what I said, and that's what I said. So anyway.
They're on their own. They got to find their own mentors, not me. I'll tell you that right now.
Yeah.
Sorry.
No, okay, so any men watching this, do not call Deanna because she is not going to.
You're not her audience. Maybe her husband is, but not Deanna. But I will tell you, any females here are just, Deanna is the one you need to be like in her space, because she is a breath of sunshine with a cup of wine. I mean,
my cheeks are turning pink. Ever since I had babies, my cheeks are like bright pink if I drink any alcohol. So there you go.
That's your indicator, guys.
One time I went to you know what? Maybe I shouldn't say this on I'll tell you a story about that later.
Yeah, we'll go when we end broadcast.
Yeah.
I do want to just bring up one. Yeah, I want to bring up one thing. Is when we first signed on, Deanna actually had imposter syndrome, and I just kind of want to bring up that word because I think it totally ties into confidence and part of our conversation we're having today, which is, imposter syndrome is that really ugly word that a lot of us entrepreneurs kind of face of. Well, one, it totally ties in with like, well, I can't go on camera because I'm not, A, and maybe I'm a Z or however you want to rate yourself, right? And so, I know this is like a extra shot, like B, like, like 1B or 1A or whatever. But I just, I think the tips, I mean, Anna's so confident. I want to tell you this, Deanna. Anna's confidence has helped rubbed off on me, and so I do try to put myself out there more because she has the confidence. She does not do the imposter syndrome, like does not live in her soul or being.
Nice, that's impressive.
And
it's hard.
Yeah,
I'm going to tell you, I'm going to give credit to my mother. Can I just do that for a minute? Because let me tell you, I grew up with a woman who embarrassed me nonstop until I figured out it was no big deal. Like, I mean, she's the one that we're driving past the boy, I think it's Cute's house, in the big green station wagon, and she's got her hand on the horn for 5 minutes before and after the house, yelling out the window, Anna Johnson's in this car. Seriously. I'm dying of embarrassment. And she's like, why do you care? So I learned very early on that it's not that I don't care what people think. It's not even that. It's just, I am who I am. So Selena took a TikTok video recently and she's like, will you just slide across your kitchen floor? I can't tell you how many takes we did of me in my socks running and sliding in different poses towards her.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
And I was like, just choose the one you think is most flattering, because I know there were some bad ones in there. Like, do not put those on. Right?
Right. And her husband's like, oh, Selena did post the sliding one on a TikTok. I just saw it.
She did. But, I feel like the benefits of people getting to know you and your personality far outweigh the negatives I don't, and if there's somebody that's watching that TikTok going, oh, that lady should not be in her black stretch pants sliding across her kitchen floor at me. They're not my people. They're not my audience. They're not the ones who want to work with me or hang out with me or be my friend or whatever it is that I'm trying to do in that moment. Right. So,
and probably you don't want to hang out with them. Like if they're the type of people who scroll on TikTok to judge some people, like, they're not your people either. Totally. We don't want you anyways, people.
That's right.
Yeah. Sassy, it's wine talking.
We're going to just do a poke right now to all you judges out there.
Yes. You're not getting any pets. All pokes right now. All of you awful Karens that just want to come in and... Okay, anyway, sorry. We can go on. Okay, I guess we are moving on to... Thank you, Deanna, actually, for that. I think that you offered some really great tips on trying to kind of evolve. I love the exposure therapy part. I am going... You are now going to see a post of my feet just to kind of discuss, hey... You know,
I was thinking the same thing. I'm going to post when I was like, oh, I'm wearing slippers right now. So it'll be like what I was wearing when I talked to Deanna.
Yes.
I love it.
Totally. So remember, and then we're gonna get into the almost the end of the show where you can find Deanna so you can learn more, because she actually has more than just what she suggested. So you need to get into her group and get on her website. We'll get there in just a moment.
Before we do that, before we do that, we're going to tell you our financial tip jar for today. So keep your receipts, shoebox, paper file, email folder, desktop folder. We don't care what it's in, or a Caitlin Eldridge CPA doesn't care what it's in. But for your financial tip for your entrepreneurial business, make sure you're keeping your receipts. You know, if you get audited, those are going to come in really handy. So if you can keep them in an organized fashion, I think she would say that's probably better than a shoebox. But all you can handle right now, put them in a shoebox.
I'm going to tell you a really funny quick story. So I'm from the restaurant industry, and because that's a tip industry, right? So somehow they had some speaker come and speak to all of us from the IRS, and they said, hey, look, and I'm not joking. It's funny how she does say shoebox. The IRS guy, and this was in the 90s. He's like, hey, look, it's important for you guys to write down your tips that you're reporting. It can be on the back of a piece of paper, the receipt from the thing. I don't care. You put it in a box. He's like, it doesn't mean that I'm going to come at you this year and ask for you, or next year. Maybe I might come at you in 3 years, but you need to show me proof that that is what you really made and claimed, yada, yada. And I was like, in a shoebox? And he made a joke, like it could be on the roll of a toilet paper that you write it down and put it in. So, Deanna, would you say that you're a good keeper of your keepings?
Oh no. This was a good tip for you.
I'm like, I feel personally attacked. No, just kidding. This is a great tip. This is like the universe telling me this is my tip because it's January and this is like a goal of mine for the year, but I need to hear it over and over again.
No, we love Caitlin, and she's my CPA, and I ask her the most asinine questions, and I could just see why like somebody like me needs to hire somebody, because I can't, like, it's So all right, guys, do like Deanna said. Don't feel personally attacked. This is a friendly suggestion from your friendly Caitlin CPA Eldridge, all the things.
Yes, that's right. Okay, so before we finish our show, we of course want Deanna to let you all know how you can find her, where she's at, how you can follow her, how you can get more great tips, and go visit her website because it is so colorful and fun to look at. Like if you just need an inspiration or a dose of happy, go check out her website. It's so much fun. All right,
thank you.
Deanna, tell us where our guests can, or not our guests, our viewers can find you.
I mean, they're right up there. That's perfect. I will say I'm loving Instagram more these days. And I'm like, you guys talked about TikTok, which is like on my radar, but it's all the things, you know? So, but definitely DeannaSeymour.com. I think that I write really good emails. So I always suggest people just get on the email list, because I also send out resources through there all the time. Like if I make a new opt-in and you're on my email list, I'll just like say, hey, I made this thing. So kind of the email list is the way to go if you want to get all the goodies all the time and hear funny stories. That's what I do.
So I have to tell you that when looking through your website, one of the things that really stood out is the fact that when you sign up for her email, her mom, Debbie, really loves them too. So
I know, it's so embarrassing.
Remember her name.
Debbie, I know, it's so funny. Yep, good old Debbie. I'm like, this is the best email ever, according to Debbie, my mom, who does get them and is always like, I got your email with the birthday cake. I'm like, yeah, I had a birthday. You were there. Like, weird. Stop talking. Like, it makes me a little uncomfortable, but also nice because she's my mom. She's supporting me.
I love moms. I love them.
Yes.
Okay, so thank you, Deanna, for letting everybody know where they can find you. So we're at the close of our show where we get to say what's happening next week and the week after and all the fun things. So just for everyone who's watching right now, next week is President's Day. So March 15th. Next week is President's Day, February 15th. Why do I have March 15th? This is all wrong.
I don't know.
I'm taking it down because you're not paying attention to what I wrote there. I don't even know what it said. Do not join us on Monday because it's President's Day and we're shutting Copycat down for that week. However, the week after that, we are having Selena Casamina, which her name was on that, but I'm not going to show it again because we'll get all confused with dates all over.
Yeah.
Selena is an expert in family business succession and transition, and we're super excited to have her on because lots of times entrepreneurial small businesses are family owned and often go from one family member to the next family member. So she's going to give us some great tips on that. This one I know is right. So you can find us at AnnaandSelena.com, on Facebook, on YouTube, or on your favorite podcast platform. And please subscribe so that we can do lots of fun things with our taglines. All right. So I think that's the end of our show. Just thank you again, Deanna, for having so much fun with this here today.
Yeah. Thank you for having me. This was awesome.
Yes. Yay. And we totally exceeded our 30 minutes because I told Anna, I said, it's going to be hard with Deanna. She's really fun. So
you're a chatterbox just because you're fun.
Okay,
yeah, no, totally. All right. Okay. Thanks everybody for watching. We're going to send you right back to the future us as we talk from the past. So bye guys.
How fun was that?
I know, it was super fun. I loved speaking with Deanna, and I loved rewatching the show today, to be honest. You forget little bits and pieces, and she just is such a good character.
Absolutely. It was exciting to have her. So thank you guys for coming and watching the show. And I just want to remember, I wrote a note down because I was like, yeah, and just of what she had said is if you get nervous about being on, what I just wrote, I wrote it, is be body positive. Don't hate on yourself so much. Just do it. Just do it.
Yeah.
Right, Anna?
Or really be body neutral. It doesn't matter one way or the other.
Oh, yeah, yes.
You know? Because she talked, it's such a good message. Like if you're feeling unconfident about yourself, you are who you are, and love that.
For sure.
Right.
So next week, as we had said earlier, we are off next week for President's Day. So we hope you have a really great weekend. We're really excited about this. Well, we're always excited about every guest, but I just want to make sure you all know. It's another guest from Hawaii because that's where I hail from, and we are so excited. She's from Business Consulting Resources, and we're going to have a conversation about family businesses and a new word that I never understood until working with her. So anyway, Anna, a pleasure.
Enjoy a week off from 15-ish minute coffee chat, and we'll see you in 2 weeks with Selena Casamina and hi, Shauna.
Bye. Right. Bye, everybody.
Thanks everyone for tuning in. Bye.